what are you doing with your time?
Yeah.
What are you doing with your time? How you spending your time? These days ain't getting no shorter, and they not coming back. It's like what are you doing? How do you spend your time? How do you spend your days? How are you spending your weeks? Because clearly we see these months are flying by. We're gonna look up and it's gonna be like, damn, it's the end of 2021 already. We're going into 2020. Seemed like just yesterday. And, you looking and you ask yourself like, what did you do? Like what went on? In your life that you accomplished or that you move forward with.
Right.
Like being more aware of time and just how you spending it. Like shit, like people know like time, you don't get time back. Time is short. It's like it's valuable, but it's like what are you doing? What are you doing with that time, knowing that it's valuable? Are you wasting it? Or you spend it being productive?
Yeah. Yeah. What you gonna do with your 24? Yeah, I get the same 24.
Mm-hmm.
Like shit, what you gonna do with it? It's gonna make the difference. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody know you like, okay, you got the same 24 hours, and it's a cliche statement like, man, you got the same 24 hours as me. Why you tripping on?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, why if we all got the same 24 hours, why are some people way ahead in life and some aren't? Like, why are some people financially, successful? Or why are people career-wise successful? Why are people, relationship-wise successful? Where they live, the cars they drive, or the inner peace that they have? Why some people have abundance of it and some people have lack of it? Like, what are you doing with your time? Like, we got this.
It's all about what how you spend it.
Mm-hmm.
How you spend your money is gonna whether it's gonna determine whether you get a return on it or not. Same with your time. It's like these people that's really getting to the bag, like they, what I'm saying, just they spend a lot of time on focus on getting to the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like shit, they putting in out of the 24, they putting in about 16 hours to get to the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of other people's 24, they putting 16 hours into bullshit. You know what I'm saying? 8 hours into sleep, 16 hours into some bullshit.
You look up at the end of the day at your 24 hours and you be like, okay, was it productive or was it unproductive?
Right.
Was did you spend more hours being productive or did you spend more hours being unproductive? And I know we're saying the same thing about how you spend your money. You'll see the reflection. I heard something that was like, somebody was like the best advice that they had got was, not watch every dime but watch every penny. It was like, successful, wealthy people watch every penny, while most people just watch every dime. And same thing with your time. Like, you looking at watch every hour, watch every minute. How are you spending your minutes? What are you giving your time to? Because when you start breaking it down even smaller than just seeing how did this year go for me, or how did this month go for me, and you start how did this day go for me, how did this hour go for me, how did this minute go for me. Like when you start really becoming aware of how you spending your time, the same way you conscious of your money, you start seeing, okay, I was unproductive this hour. I need to be more productive this hour. Spent 2-3 hours. I literally had to put on my phone how much time I was spending on social media.
Yeah.
So it'll notify me like when you spent the hour on Instagram, it'll say you've been on, just so I would know like, okay, you spent too much time today on Instagram or on social media, so you need to put that phone down.
Right.
And like just being more conscious and aware, that way I could know like don't give too much time towards things that's not adding value, things that's not being productive for myself.
Yeah, it's like if you going, like I tell my son all the time, he got his dreams and goals and stuff that he wants to accomplish, and he's he's still young, but
try to build them habits early.
Yeah, I tell him, I say, hey, what are you trying to do? You want to play ball? You want to go into entrepreneurship? What are you trying to do with your life? And the thing is, he knows, you know what I'm saying? So he can lay out his plan and tell me everything that he wants to do. He can lay his whole life out, you know what I'm saying?
He's 15.
Yeah, he's 15, know where he want to live, know what he want to do for a living. And so I tell him, I say, well, the clock starts now, you know what I'm saying? So the things that you're doing now is going to determine if you able to see that dream of yours, that vision of yours come to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So even like he wants to play basketball. I say, well, you need to spend a lot of time working out, training, spending your time doing that, because that's going to make you a better athlete. You know what I'm saying? Rather than on the game and playing around and kicking it with your friends all day. I said that's gonna, make you a better video game player. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what you trying to do?
Yeah. Is that you trying to play video games or you trying to play
ball?
So whatever you got 24 hours in a day, and you need to use that time to working on things that's gonna get you to where you're trying to go, and not things that's just spending a lot of time on leisure activities. And people are like, all right, well, he's a kid, man, look, the time starts now. Like, you're gonna look up and you're gonna be grown, then you're gonna be 25, then you're gonna be 30, and you're like, damn, why the time went?
At times, just keep on flying.
Right.
And that's it, because I got a 14-year-old the same way. And I think, like how you were just saying, I try to balance and try to figure out, am I being too hard on him? Let him be a child? Or it's like me understanding, like, your habits are being built right now. Like, if you start building these habits right now, by the time you're 25, you're going to be appreciative of the habits that you built. Because I ask him, he'll be on that game all day. And I'll be like, what have you done today that was productive? And I ask him, have you done anything? Because I tell him, like, you need to be doing something productive. Like, I don't mind you playing that game, but you need to do something productive. Don't spend the whole day playing that game.
Right.
And so I be trying to, think, okay, am I being too hard on him? Let him be a kid. Let him, have fun. He going to have the rest of his life to work. But it's like, then on the other hand, it's like, nah, he needs to start building habits now, because if he built those habits of being lazy or not being productive now, it's going to carry on into adulthood, and it's going to be even harder to break then.
Right.
So, I guess, how do you feel like with the balance as, okay, you still a kid and allowing them to be a kid, but I want to instill good productive behavior inside you as well?
I mean, I care about the balance to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
But not really.
Yeah. I be like, shit. Like, you didn't say you wanted a balanced life. you told me you wanted to this is what you want to do. So if this is what you want to do, then this is what it's gonna take. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say the things that they want to do, but they don't want to pay the price. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the shit gonna cost you regardless. And if you look at any successful person, they had to pay the price. Shit ain't just just fall into their lap. You know what I'm saying? And you got to create the habits that's gonna make you successful.
And I think the best thing with that, sacrifice. Sacrifice, like you were just saying, a lot of people want this, or they say that they want this, but they're not willing to sacrifice certain things in order to get themselves to that level that they want. So it's like, you want it, but you don't want it bad enough to make sacrifices to get you there. Right. So as far as with the kids, I know it'd be like, okay, you got to sacrifice that some time on that game to go out there and get your exercise in, to go out there and get your work done, because you said that you wanted this. Right. And the same thing even with adults, like you say, it drag on to adulthood. It's like, you say you want more money, but yet you spend 4 or 5 hours on the couch watching TV. Yeah. You're not willing to give up some of that TV time in order to get to where you want to go. You say you want a healthy lifestyle. You say you want a better physique, your body to be better, but you won't sacrifice giving up XYZ or to go to the gym to get you some exercise in, or to give up certain foods and sweets that you like to eat in order to have that body style that you want. Like, what sacrifices are you willing to make? You got to sacrifice if you want to be able to go up and change, where you at right now in life.
Right. I feel like those things are like distractions. You know what I'm saying? Like, they, the video games and all this stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, you could say balance, but I look at it like, all right, you getting distracted, because if you truly wanted something bad enough, and your heart that's where it was at. Like, if you really want to play ball, then it's really not sacrificing, because you're doing what you love to do, or you doing what you genuinely want to do. So going out and practice and shoot and play the game all day,
genuinely passionate about that.
Right. It's not really a sacrifice, because you actually love it. But the games is just a mental distraction. You know what I'm saying? It's like, here, all your friends are here. They just, it's fun, and then it's just time consuming. So then you get it. And the same with television and all that shit. It's just a distraction to keep you off track from where you're trying to go.
So you ask yourself, is what I'm doing in this moment moving me towards whatever my goals are? Right. Whether it's health, whether it's career, whether it's financially, what I'm doing right now and the time that I'm spending right now, and is this moving me towards what I said that I want? And I like what you said, like, when you become passionate about something and you really want to do it, it don't become work. Right. It becomes like, I'm doing this because I enjoy doing this. And like you say, you don't start keeping up with how much time you're putting into it. You just do it. You just dive into it, and you lose track of time. Right. A lot of time, whenever you're doing something that you love to do, it's you out there hooping and you love to hoop. You don't be like, I'm going to go hoop for an hour. I'm going to go practice for, even with like Forex, with trading. For me, it was more so like, I'm not counting how many hours. I'm gonna do this for this many hours, this many. Like, now it's like you just fall in love with doing it, and you just on it, and you lose track of time because you enjoy doing that. So a lot of people just, you got to fall in love with the process.
Right. And this shit could be fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit could be fun. Like, it doesn't have to be just because you're working on something that's gonna get you to where you're trying to go or move you towards your goal doesn't mean that it has to be boring or dreadful or anything like that. It can actually be fun. You can actually be happy doing the shit that's gonna get you towards your goal. You just gotta switch the mindset up and stop looking at it like work and stuff like that, and actually, actually be happy with doing it. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that I did is I had to change the way that I was saying. Like, you don't say, man, I have to do this. I get to do this. Certain words in your own mind, it changed your whole feeling, your whole emotion. Like, if you got to go to work, it don't be like, oh, man, I got to go to work, because now your whole mental is in a negative. I get to go to work today.
Right.
I get to go outside and play basketball and go practice and work on my game. I get to get on these. I get to do this. It gives your whole mindset like, no, it's not dreading going to do whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. I get to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym at 3 today. I get to go do this. It gives me that motivation. Like, man, it's a privilege for you to be able to get to go do something. You're more motivated. Change your whole perspective about it.
Right.
And that's what, like, man, and with life, like this whole journey, like, I tell a lot of people sometimes, like, man, we get so caught up on the manifestation of whatever it is that we want. It's like, we want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. Like, the actual journey part is the manifesting part is where you're supposed to find the joy at. It's not the creation, but the creating, like the actual process of doing it. Like, fall in love with doing it, like the action. Fall in love with the action and the movement of doing it. Because as you do, you'll start seeing those results, and as you start seeing the results, you'll start becoming more. You'll fall even more in love with doing it. But it's not actually whatever it is that you want. It's not that manifesting that you're gonna fall in love with. You're gonna fall in love with the process of manifesting.
Right.
Fall in process with creating. The doing part of it. Fall in love with the doing part of whatever it is that you say that you want to do.
Right. Then it's not work no more after that. It's even like when we go to the gym and we go boxing or whatever, or even working out.
Have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does it have to be miserable? Like, why do you have to go in there with the attitude that, oh shit, I got, like, it could be fun. And then you look up and you're like, damn, the hour's already over with. I had a good time. I train. I feel good. I feel healthy. Now I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go move on to the next thing. What else is going to get me to where I'm trying to go? Have fun doing that. But be serious and work, but it doesn't have to be
dreading.
You know what I'm saying? It could be fun. It could be exciting. You can have a good time. You can find laughter, joy, peace, and all that shit, and doing what you actually want to do. Things that's going to get you to your goal,
And that same thing, even with money, like when people have a hard time with saving. Saving their money. It's like, I started doing this $5 challenge. I did this. I started this about like 3-4 years ago. But basically, it was just every time I get a $5, I will put it up. Just saving the $5. And it was a little habit just to practice the habit of saving.
Right.
And you realize even the smallest amount compounds. And I'm a fan of consistency compounds. If you just stay consistent in anything that you're doing, it's gonna compound. So I'm saving the $5s, and at the end of the year, I looked up and I may have saved. It was like $3,000 that I saved in $5 just by doing it and staying consistent with it. Right. And I was telling people, I was like, man, I fell in love with the process of saving those $5. Like, I started looking forward to. I didn't want to spend those $5. I make sure so I could put it up because I started seeing it stack. I started seeing the results, and like it became a habit that I enjoyed doing.
Right.
Same thing, So it's like even with small saving habits, it's like you don't have to be like, oh man, I got to put this money. So I need this money. Be able to find a little game for it to be able to do something that's gonna move you towards whatever it is you want. And if financial, freedom is what it is, you need to start building some kind of savings plan. And don't look at it as like I'm dreading saving money. Look at it as like a game. Like, I get to put 10% aside, every paycheck. And as you start watching it build, you start feeling even better. You actually enjoy it.
Right.
So. Yeah. Taking the small steps and just fall in love with the process is always a good thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, make this shit fun.
But how we go back to how are you spending your time, and how are you spending your 24 hours, and what are you moving towards your goals?
Yeah.
And I think that's break your these days are going by and they add up. If you have an unproductive day today, and then you have an unproductive day tomorrow, and then you have a productive day, and then if you look up at the end of the week and you had more unproductive days than you did productive days, you can see where your life is headed, because those days, those weeks, they turn into months, and those months turn into years, and those years turn into your lifetime. You ask yourself, you look at where you at in your life right now, and you say, have I had a productive life up until this point? Like, you are the director of your life. You write your story. You are where you are because of your choices that you made to do with your time. Like nobody else. Where you live at, where you stay at, the relationships you have, everything that you have in your life up to this point is your choice. It was your decision. You created it. So you say, man, have I had a productive life or have I had an unproductive life? And if it's been unproductive overall, it means you spent more time doing unproductive tasks than you have doing productive tasks. And a lot of times people be so busy being busy. It's like they just moving, they just steady, they doing something. They swear that they so busy, but then they have an unproductive life. It's like you busy being unproductive.
Yeah, and a lot of people, the reason why they don't really use their time or take accountability for their time is because they're blaming the situation on different circumstances. And I think the first step is really taking accountability
for their own, not blaming on circumstances.
Right. Like, okay, this is I have a choice. And even things that may not even be your fault, you know what I'm saying, that you may not even have, no control over, but you got to still be accountable for it. You know what I'm saying? You still got to say, okay, this is my life. I'm accountable for my life. For whatever happens to me, I hold myself responsible. I'm not blaming anybody or anything. I'm being 100% accountable for my life. And then when you do that, you gain control over your life, and then you gain control over your time and your actions and everything, and you start making different decisions. But we give too much control to other people and things and circumstances over our life. You know what I'm saying? And that puts us in a position to where we stop being accountable. We stop holding ourselves accountable. And then we just start rolling through life like, oh, whatever happens, happens. If I get a break, I get a break. If I don't, I don't.
They start freestyling their days and just kind of like whatever happens, happen. They're reacting more so to circumstance rather than creating their circumstances.
Right.
And a lot of times, like you were saying, like a lot of people spend so much time complaining about circumstances, how circumstances and events or people, how life isn't fair for them. Like nobody said life was gonna be fair for you. Nobody said that you're gonna get dealt the best hand. How come he got? But then you start comparing and complaining about why he get this or why he did that. How come they got this? Man, I just can't catch a break. We spend so much time complaining. The worst characteristic that a person can have is complaining. To be a complainer.
I can stand.
Yeah, but we spend so much time complaining on circumstances, and even if the circumstances wasn't your fault, you couldn't control the circumstance. Your fault is how you react to that circumstance. Right. That's what you do have. You don't have control over the circumstance if it's already presented itself, but how do you react to it? And that's what separates your greats from your mediocre or your successful from unsuccessful. It rains on everybody. The rich get rained on just like the poor get rained on. Things happen to the rich the same way it happened to the poor. The difference is how do you react to these situations? When a circumstance presents itself, you got two perspectives. You can look at it from a complainer perspective, or you can look at it from, okay, this is what it is. What's the solution?
Well, I think it's like, when you say like the rich, they get rained on. Yeah, it like just like the poor, they do. But I feel like it starts like some people they were born into wealth, but I'm just talking about the everyday Joe that started off and he worked his way up. And when you look at those two, everything was on an equal playing field. But the mindset, how he got from out of poverty to being wealthy is the mindset. And the mindset of it's raining on both of us, but what am I going to do? Am I going to blame it on the rain to stop me from doing what I need to do, or am I going to be accountable and do it and do what I need to do? And that's the mindset that's going to pull you out of poverty into being wealthy or into conquering your dreams and goals. That's the mindset that's really going to get you there. But if you keep blaming things on circumstances and people and your life and how you got dealt such a terrible hand and complaining, you're never gonna get out of that. The only thing you're gonna do is
create more of it.
Right, create more and just live in excuses. And you know what I'm saying?
I was listening to this podcast from Earl Nightingale, and he was talking about that as far as like at the age of 25, most people starting your classmates or whatever, y'all start off at the same playing field, but by the time you're 50. One person's going to be here, one person's going to be here, and then one person's going to be at the bottom. Right. And it was like, what was the difference from those 25 years that switched the playing field of life for each one of these people? And it was like, their mentality. One person's mentality might be, I'm going to save this amount of my check, and the other person's was like, I'm not going to save it all. Right. One person, as far as with the rain, it was like, you got two car salesmen. It's raining outside. One car salesman look out the window and he says, "Oh, it's raining today. Nobody's gonna come buy a car."
Right.
So he stays in bed. I'm just gonna stay home today. I'm not gonna waste my time. The other one, his mindset is, I know nobody's gonna come in to work today because it's raining. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get all the sales.
Right.
He goes and gets those sales. This is what separates the, your mentality shift. How do you look at the circumstances? Is raining outside. It's raining outside for both of you.
Yeah.
One says he's gonna stay in bed all day. The other one says, I'm gonna get up and go make this money. And then you look up.
Right.
After this happens over a year, 2 years, 3 years, and this person whose mentality always, I'm not gonna let circumstance change what I'm out to get, because I know what I want out of life. He's gonna be here, and the person who stayed in bed over and over, you start seeing him just slowly falling, and it doesn't happen like instantly. You don't just see a big gap in the distance between people. It happens slowly, gradually. You don't just see all that weight just jump on you at once. Right. It happens slowly, one burger at a time. So you got to change the way that you look at things.
And then they look and say, okay, well, damn, he got money. Well, he could do X, Y, Z. Then it's like an advantage. Or you start seeing the separation.
They complaining again.
Yeah, then they complain, but they don't see the mindset that he had when he didn't have money to get him to the point to where, then things are different. Yeah, if you rich and it rain, it's gonna be a little different. You may be under $800 umbrella. You know what I'm saying? But
what put him in that position?
What put him in the position is it's gonna be different, because his mindset got him to that point. But the person that's poor, he's gonna feel the rain a lot harder than the guy that took care of his business, that was proactive, that had the right mindset, that was focused and goal driven. You know what I'm saying? His shit is gonna be different. His he can go through a storm a little bit easier than the guy that wasn't proactive and didn't have the right mindset.
But he put himself in that position to be able to go through it easier.
Exactly.
Because he sacrificed, like we was talking about earlier. He sacrificed and he made decisions when he could have laid in bed when it was raining just like you did. He made the decision to sacrifice, like, no, I'm going to get out there in that weather and I'm going to still go make this money. I'm going to still handle he made those decisions. So when he had, and that's what a lot of people, we get so busy comparing with somebody else. You don't know their story. You don't know what they sacrificed. You don't know what they did in order to get to where they went. And a lot of people just see rich or wealthy people and they automatically assume they inherited or they had this good for. A lot of people, they had to work their way up. But you just see the fruits of their labor. You didn't actually see the labor. You didn't see behind the scenes.
Right.
Same thing, with us. Like a lot of people, you see what we had going on. You see us how we be moving. It's just like you see the fruit, but you don't see behind the scenes. You didn't see when the grind that was put in. You didn't see the time and the effort and the sacrifices and what we were doing behind the scenes in order to get what you had. Like don't worry about the fruits of somebody else's labor. Just change your perspective and your mentality so you can get to where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because they look at it like, if you want to be in a position to where the rain don't affect you like that, then change your mindset. You know what I'm saying? Change your mindset. Start thinking a little different. Be more proactive. And then you'll be in that same position.
They don't want to. A lot of people don't want to go through the process. They want to skip the process. They want to plant the seed this morning and they want to eat the fruit tonight.
Right.
They want to plant the seed and eat the fruit in the same. You can't plant the seed and eat the fruit in the same day. That's not the way it works. You got to cultivate. You got to sacrifice, and it's a process. Like you can't skip the process. And the people that do try to skip the process, like it doesn't end up well for them. Right. It's like you're trying to direction. I'll say it all the time. Direction is more important than speed. When you're trying to skip the process, you trying to just hurry up and get to where you're going. But some people are headed in the wrong direction fast.
Right.
It's like, when you try to skip the process, that's when you end up jeopardizing your character, and you end up jeopardizing your freedom, and you end up jeopardizing your health, and you end up you start giving up other values that you hold dearly when you try to skip the process. Like, go through the process, make the sacrifices, and change your mindset, change your perspective on how you look at circumstances that are happening that might not be in your favor at the moment.
Right.
So,
yeah, for sure. We live in that microwave society. We're looking for instant gratification. We want to be instant rich.
Yeah.
We want an instant pot of coffee. We want some instant rice.
And
everything everything is like
quick. Nobody wants to take the time.
And you can get it quick, but you're gonna be sacrificing the quality. You know what I mean? And character. A lot of things you're gonna sacrifice to get that, and then the shit don't last long. Quick as it come, quick as it go.
It don't last long, and people don't be realizing, like you just said, like when you go through the things and you go through the process and you bump your head and you go through some of the failures that you have to go. These are lessons that you need in order to have that longevity.
Right.
But sometimes when you try to skip that process, you skip some of these lessons, and you skip some of some information that you could have learned, and you skip some things that's gonna help you long term when you try to skip that process. Sometimes you gotta go through this route, and you gotta fail at this, and you gotta learn this in order for you to come at it in a better way.
Right.
But when you're trying to skip the process, you miss the journey. Like the whole reason we're here is for the journey. Like don't try to skip the journey and try to get. If we going to California, we don't want to just come back home. We want to actually go to California, enjoy what the reason you're going on vacation. You want to enjoy the process of your vacation. Right. You don't want to just skip the vacation and be already back home already. Like, nah, take the time to enjoy and see everything along the way. Because now you come back and you tell your story, and that's what people want to hear. What did you go through to get to where you got? They want to hear your journey. They want to hear your process. They want to hear what you went through. Nobody want to just hear you as an overnight success. Nobody want to hear that you just, won the lottery. Oh, how did you get it? Oh, I won a lottery. Yeah. Oh, how did you get? Like, nah, you went through some things. That's where the motivation and inspiration. Like, nah, it wasn't just given to me. I made sacrifice. I changed my mindset. Right. Same thing like how we had to do.
Right. Yeah.
So, mindset. I like how you said that. Like, change your mindset. Change the way that you look at things. Change the way that you view circumstances, even when it's not in your favor. And it's easy to say when things are going well for you, but it's hard. It's even harder when you're actually going through it.
Yeah.
When your health isn't up to par and you're sick, it's hard for you to have a positive mindset on that circumstance. When finances aren't there for you and you're not where you want to be financially, and bills are coming in, it's easy for you to get into that complaining mode. And things just not. It's easy to go follow, but you have to. That's where the mental practice comes in. Like, okay, it's happening right now. I got to change the way that I view this perspective on this circumstance right now, and look at it from a different. What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? And then look at it from that lens.
Yeah, it's better to be proactive than reactive. Cause it's hard as shit to be reactive. Like it costs. I mean, it's tough. So it's better to be proactive than reactive, and try to. Cause I mean, you see people. It's easy to say, like, man, get your health together until you're dealing with some health issues.
And you have to.
And it's shit can get a little tough.
And they say time spent in preparation is way shorter than time spent in repairment. It's easier to go ahead and prepare, get your health now, like you say, being proactive and start taking care of your health now than waiting until you're diagnosed with some disease, or you're diagnosed with some cancer, you're diagnosed with, or you overweight, or whatever the case is, and then you're forced to have to, change your health.
Right.
You laid up in the hospital. It's easier to start saving and taking care of your money and being conscious of where each dollar that you spend is going now than waiting until you're broke and bills are due and money's not coming in, and then you're trying to figure it out. Being proactive, like you say, is a shorter time spent in being and preparing than it is in repairing.
Right.
So once the damage is done, now it's like you got to go back in and try to refix it, and then you got to do everything that you should have been doing. If you play now, you got to pay later. Right. If you pay now, you get to play more later. Whatever you do more of now, you get to do more of later. If you playing all the time now and you playing a whole bunch now, then you're gonna have to pay for it later.
Right.
So just
it ain't just in money.
It ain't just in money.
It's shit. You play with your health, it's gonna cost you. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because, since probably about like 2000, like the end of 2016 going into 17, I was becoming more health cautious, you know what I'm saying, conscious, and just being more conscious of
what caused
of health, you know what I'm saying, and started changing up things, changing my diet and stuff like that, and just being more proactive with health, working out and trying to just get things together. And over that time, from then up until now, and as I changed my diet and just been more proactive on health and just getting in shape and stuff like that. And then I started just seeing, I was able to kind of step back and just look at things from a bird's eye view, and you got so many people dealing with underlying health issues that they really don't have to really be dealing with, you know what I'm saying? But the choices that they're making it's causing these issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching people just, dig themselves into
deteriorating health wise.
Right. And they just digging themselves into a deeper hole because they don't want to change certain things. They get stuck in their ways. And it's like, and I try to do my best. The people that want to be educated on it,
give them some knowledge.
I give them some knowledge. And hey, let's, if you need, okay, you dealing with this, and it got to the point where they be like, hey, I'm dealing with this. Okay, try this, try that. This ought to help with this, and that. Just off of the things that I do personally. And then, but then there's some that's like, they dealing with different health issues and they don't want to change. And then my advice to them is like, okay, you don't want to change these things, but be ready to face
deal with the consequences.
Yeah, face that reality when you go to the hospital and they tell you got all of these different things going on with you, and they got to do put you on this medication, or they got to do surgery, or they got to you have all these different things going on. So you got just be willing to face that, like have the same energy when that shit happens. But then I watch the process, and none of them do.
They never change. Don't want to change.
Well, no, they don't have that same energy.
Oh, okay. Once it happened, they go right back to that's the complaint.
Right. They like, oh shit, nah. And then they want to be more active on their health, but they wait till it gets so bad, till it gets almost too late to really be active and start doing things that's gonna help them, and be more healthy. And that's just, and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm looking at, and I just see it like more often now. And it's
everything's becoming way more instant. Like you go get that fast food, it's instant, it's quick. Like the foods that they putting out now, it's way easier for you to go just grab something quick that might not be healthy for you.
And it'll feel good to them right then and there. Like, oh, go give me some of this food,
And if you ate a big old hamburger or something like that wasn't really healthy for you, and if you after you ate that burger you gained 50 pounds, or you had congestive heart failure after that one burger, you'll take a second thought about behind eating that burger. But because it happens so gradually, you eat whatever you want to eat, or you don't take care of your health right now. It doesn't happen just instantly, but it's a process over time. People not looking at that, and they're like, well, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. Like, we only get one life to live. And it's like, but like, I know you always say, like, man, yeah, you only get one life to live, and you can do what you want to do, but the quality of that life, with me, it was like I was seeing a lot of, doing like with the EMS, it was like I saw a lot of people with the congestive heart failure, with the diabetes, with the, they getting amputated, getting their legs amputated. They having to do dialysis 3 times a week for 4 hours. It was like steady seeing that, and I had went and got a physical and did my blood work, and it was like, this was 2008 or 9. It was a while ago, but it was like, I was borderline diabetic, and I had high cholesterol, and I told myself then I do not want to be that way. I don't want to end up having to do. And you talk about young people, like, people think you have to be old in order to have bad health conditions. It's, you got 30, 40-year-old people who's still dealing with health conditions. It's like, man, I don't want that kind of quality of life where I got to be laid up in the hospital taking all these different kind of medications. And so that's when I started taking, becoming more conscious of what I was eating, cutting back on fast foods, just being more mindful of what I was putting into my body. And even earlier, 2015 around that, we drinking a lot, and we eating Papados, and we 3-wheel motions and steak and shrimp, and it was like, yeah, you can afford it, yeah, you can eat good, but is this good for your body? And that's when we went the vegan route, and just started being more conscious, like, okay, this ain't healthy. How much alcohol we was consuming? Like, okay, this can't be healthy for my body. And no, yeah, we having fun doing it right now, but long term, like, I can't maintain this lifestyle over a long period of time, and eventually it was going to get to a point where my body would start shutting down. So I was like, nah, got more active in the gym. I was like, man, I'm gonna make I didn't want to have to go in the gym, and I'm not trying to be super fit 5 times a week, 3 hours a day. It's like, no, what I need to figure out a routine that I want to maintain this over a lifetime. This is not something I want to do just for the summertime. This is not something I want to do just because my birthday is coming up. Like, no, I want to be able to build a routine that I can stick with 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And, it was like, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym 3 times a week. Give me about an hour and a half in. I can maintain that over a long period of time. Just taking better care of my health, and understanding. I know even with talking with you, watching you make your shifts and your changes, it kind of motivated me, having an accountability partner. People that you surround yourself with, like, what are they doing? Have somebody that's, hey, that's going to help you hold yourself accountable for what you're doing.
Right. And that's the thing, like, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's very, very, very important. Because you know, you got to be careful. It's the whole saying, and my grandmother, she used to always say that,
What's that?
guilty by association.
Oh yeah, my mom used to tell me that.
So it's like you got to be real careful who you associate with, who you dealing with, because you know you want things to you first of all, like especially when you're going through any type of transition with whatever, whether you cutting back on the way you eat, or if you cutting back on partying, or if you cutting back on, or you trying to go to the gym, you know, you trying to exercise, whatever it is, you have to be real careful who you dealing with until you build the habit so strong to the point where okay,
can't nothing stop you from.
Exactly. And we start hanging around people premature before we just build that habit.
That's not good for our good habits that we're trying to implement.
So you trying to eat healthy, but all you doing is hanging around people that like to eat fast food all the time. And naturally, that temptation is gonna be in front. Like, hey, we go. These my boys or whatever, or these my homegirls or whatever. And y'all decide, hey, let's go eat. And you haven't built that discipline or that habit to the point where you can be strong-willed and say, okay, no, I can go sit down and eat, but I'm good.
I don't have to.
Yeah, I ain't got to indulge, right? Yeah. But then, you know, but you wait, you move premature, and you like, okay, I'm gonna go kick it with y'all at this point where I'm only 2 days in trying to eat healthy, and then y'all go to Papa Do's, and then you just know how I love that shrimp platter, you know what I'm saying, or that seafood platter.
Go ahead and order.
You gonna order it, you know what I'm saying? So at that time when you building habits, I mean, it's nothing against anybody you dealing with, you know what I'm saying, but you got to be careful because you want to surround yourself around people. If I'm trying to be a vegan, okay, I need to go kick it with people that's on that diet, that can give me some information, that can give me some guidance, and that's going to be eating the same type of shit I'm going to be eating. If I'm trying to go work out and be in the gym, I need to get around people that has discipline, that's hitting the gym, that's doing that. So, you know, and then they're going to encourage me and pull me up. But if you're the guy that's trying to eat healthy and do the right thing, and you surrounding yourself with people that's not, then the only thing they can do is try to pull you back into their direction. And it's easier, if, like you said, it's easier if you haven't built that discipline yet in that habit. It's easy to read. How many times have we said, I'm gonna start exercising on the beginning of the year, and then if all your people, they partying, they doing all this, it's so easy to say, I'm gonna start next Monday. I'm gonna start one. You know, it'd be like one day turn into someday, and someday turn into no days. Like you never actually get started with it. You know, so you say, I want to eat healthy, I'm gonna go vegan. But then yet you go back to, and you back kicking it at Papa Do's, you're gonna, you know, you hang around that barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. Right.
You know, and that's that saying. So, you know, a lot of times I would tell some people, you know, sometimes I tell people, and I might post it on social media with certain things because that help me hold myself accountable. If I say I'm gonna do this, or if I tell you like, hey, I'm gonna quit drinking for 30 days. Me telling you that, you know, and me knowing that, you know, I have a good support system around me, you're going to help me hold myself accountable. Yeah. If you see me, I'm not even going to want to go grab that drink because I done already told you that I'm not drinking for 30 days. Sometimes we make commitments to ourselves and we don't really hold ourselves to those commitments. It's like you say, I'm going to start exercising 3 times a week, or you say, I'm going to, you know, eat healthier. You just tell yourself that, but it's easier for you to, one bite ain't going to hurt. One sandwich, I've been doing good, I deserve a cheat day.
And be careful with your peers. That's like, if you tell me I'm gonna quit drinking for 30 days, right? I'm gonna respect that. You know what I'm saying? Be careful to the people that's around you when you tell them, hey, I'll quit drinking for 30 days, and
what
they be
their
like,
response is.
They response be like, shit, come on, let's go get a drink, come on. You know what I'm saying? They try to encourage you to break your discipline. You gotta be careful. But if you say, hey, I'm gonna quit drinking for 30 days, okay, cool. I know he's not drinking, so if I desire to have a drink, I'm gonna go have a drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, hey, come on, let's go get a drink. I want to drink because I want to make sure that, you know, I want to hold him accountable on his word, what he said, right? At the same time, if I'm not on that time yet, you know what I'm saying, then I'm not gonna go pull him out to say, come on, let's go drink and get him off of his discipline.
I'm not gonna force you to do what I'm doing just because this is what I choose to do. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna honor what you said that you set out to do for yourself. Yeah, and that's what a good friend is. And, you know, you kind of you start seeing your circle, and you start saying, you know, when you say you want to do certain things, I want to stop doing this, I want to start doing that, I want to stop doing this, and they honor what you're like, rather than trying to talk you out of what your own goals are. Like, that's people that you want to surround yourself with. Like, these are my goals for me. These aren't your goals.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to do what I'm doing. I'm
Right.
saying this is what I want to do, and you as a friend should be like, all right, cool,
supportive.
to be
Right.
supportive of it, and not try to encourage me to go and do, because if I feel like this is gonna help me move towards where I'm trying to go, then I need you to be supportive and not try to help me, because like you say, temptation is easy, especially in the early stages. Temptation is easy to say, forget, I'm gonna go ahead and have this drink.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and have this fast food. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't have to go to the gym today. Like I've been consistent so many days, I don't have to go today. Rather than you go like, nah, come on, let's go hit the gym. Come on, let's go get it in. Then I'm gonna be more. It's that motivation, that inspiration to continue to stick with what you said. And like I say, sometimes I'll post it on social media, just because if I say this on social media, I'm telling myself sometimes it's not for everybody else. Sometimes I'm putting it out there and people reading it, it's like motivating, inspiring them. But I be saying it sometimes to motivate and inspire my own self, to make sure I'm sticking by what I say. Like I'm a fan of, don't be a hypocrite. Don't say this but then do something else. Don't say you're gonna do this, but then you do something else offline. Don't post this online and saying that you but then offline you something else. So that to me is like, okay, I post this and I said this, and I make sure I'm holding myself accountable when I said it. Because if I don't, somebody gonna say, I thought you said this. I thought you was all about your peace. Why you was so drama? I thought you was about your health. Why you doing this? I thought you was about your, whatever the case is that I'm setting out to do. It's like, I help hold myself accountable by putting it out there, or just by telling somebody, find you a good accountability partner. Right. That's good, that's supportive of your goals.
Yeah, and then don't step, like when I stopped drinking, liquor, beer, and shit, it's been almost 3 years now.
That you gave it all up.
Yeah, and but when I first started, I was like, okay, it's not a good idea for me to go hit the club or go out where it's a bunch of alcohol and the shit that I'm accustomed to doing, right? So let me wait. Let me build my strength. Let me develop the habit of not drinking first, and then I can come out and I can be around that, and it's not gonna affect me.
You're not gonna have the urge, because you don't have the desire anymore to have a drink. You done broke yourself away from it anyway. Right.
So the people that I had to be around was the people that wasn't really drinking. You know what I'm saying? Until I built the habit, until I built the strength, and it was like, okay, now I'm good. Now we can go to the club, we can go wherever. Everybody could drink. Hell, I even buy the drinks,
but
and I'm straight.
Drink,
I don't have to have it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's very important when you just
remove yourself from around temptation.
Right.
Whatever it is, if you on a diet and you don't want to snack no more, don't put all the snacks in the pantry if you don't want to eat snacks, because you giving yourself that temptation to go in there and eat it. Like put more fruits and vegetables in your refrigerator. Right. If you don't want to drink, get rid of all the liquor bottles at your house. That way you don't have that temptation to pour up a drink. Whatever it is that you decide that you wanna give up, don't put yourself in the environment of temptation where it's easy to break your discipline.